Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals, and today I have got game 1 of a best of 3. It is going to be some Protoss on Terran action, and Acheron Waste is where it's all going to be playing out. So down in the bottom right position, from Team Acer, we have the red Terran player, it is MMA. And his opponent spawning in the top left, the green Protoss player from Team Evil Geniuses, it is HuK. This is from the Russian Star League. It is an awesome series, and, well, I'm assuming it's an awesome series because these are two very good players. But what I meant to say was it's an awesome tournament with some tip-top talent in there, and really ever so good. Hopefully when I am able to stream, I might be able to get some of that doing it live and things. But yeah, this game, really looking forward to it. The subsequent games, even more so. Once these two work out, what their opponent's going for, what they're trying to do, that's when things start getting really exciting. You get the unusual builds thrown out, you get the attempts to counter the counters of the counters, and generally the mind games go through the roof. Of course, both these two players are ridiculously good. HuK we saw at DreamHack last weekend doing an amazing work, amazing display of talent, to be honest, just absolutely tip-top. MMA as well, he wasn't in DreamHack. DreamHack, I fell for it, and the reason I said DreamHack is all Jorasar's fault when I was casting with him, because he kept saying DreamHack every time we cast HuK, and now it is embedded in my brain. Not good. But MMA, he wasn't a DreamHack or a DreamHack, but he is still an absolutely incredible player, so definitely something to look out for. HuK also is going for the gate expand. Meanwhile, MMA, he's going for command center first. Again, pretty obvious that he was going for that when he didn't make anything else. But HuK, gateway, expands, very normal, 2 gas down. Probably going to put 2 probes in each unless he's going for something a bit more crazy. But I don't think he will be. MMA also interesting placement of this command center, not risking putting it down on the low ground, but likewise not running the wall off. This would leave him vulnerable, hypothetically, to something like a DT rush. But a high level play in game 1 of a best of 3, yeah, you're not really going to be getting that. It's not something that's going to be massively concerning for you. So I think this is it's a nice build. Command center first on Acheron Waste, going to get a nice economy. MMA following up with double racks. Won't get any gas immediately. May get 1 down, possibly 2. The big thing is to see whether he gets a 3rd barracks, and that's all going to come down to whether he feels threatened, whether he thinks that HuK is going to be applying pressure, or whether he thinks he can afford to tech. Because the way I always like to think of games is, you know, like in character customization screens, you get sometimes those triangles of like skill ability or face shape or whatever. StarCraft kind of has that triangle of tech, economy, and army out on the field, and you can only really slide that cursor around in that triangle if you're prioritizing them. You can't prioritize all 3. You can kind of focus on 2, but then 1 will get neglected quite heavily, so it's all about balancing it up against what your opponent's doing. But MMA, getting that bunker down, making sure he's safe. Gases probably are going to be coming down fairly soon for him. Meanwhile, HuK, he does have 6 probes in gas, so he is going to be going for some tech. Not sure what yet, though. The mothership core is on its way down. No sign of a proxy, and is going to come and now take his natural. But the natural a bit further delayed because of these additional probes in gas. It meant that his mothership core will come out a fraction quicker. But yeah, he's going to be going for something very tech heavy. He's got a lot of gas banked up. It may be a sentry. That's a possibility. It could be something more sinister. We'll have to keep an eye out though. But for the moment, MMA has killed that zealot. Didn't take any. Well, he lost a single. One zealot for 2 marines or something, or a marine and an SCV. Basically, 100 losses on each side. HuK now going for that robo, following on with an additional gateway, may see a 3rd gate. We've got to keep an eye out for that, but this Artosis pylon is looking very risky, HuK. You may want to build another one. But yeah, down here we do have the natural now getting taken here from MMA, so while it was obviously command center first opening, he's only floating it down now, and that just means that he's being extra safe, waiting for the bunker to finish. He hasn't scouted yet, and that's one of the reasons that he could be being very cautious. He has no clue what HuK is doing, and therefore doesn't want to take risks, wants to try and play it safe, and really play it economical by the looks of things, with that 3rd CC coming down already just as the first gas starts trickling in for him. Very economically focused, clearly playing a bit of a risky game, especially when there's a grand total of no scouting information. The Marines are moving forward, going to come and poke out, but if now this opening from HuK was, say, a proxy Stargate down here, which wouldn't be uncommon, then suddenly MMA may be in a bit of problems because he really doesn't have too much down and he's still risking that third CC, so very economically focused. If HuK doesn't punish this, it is going to be great for the Acer player though, because he's going to have an absolutely fantastic economy. But HuK currently just pumping out observers, not really getting anything too scary. He's got 2 Stalkers and a Mothership got on the field. The double forge as well just says, I'm sitting and turtling up, I'm not taking risks here, and that's something that is actually going to play in really nicely to MMA's style of getting this third CC down just so early. Even before Stim was started, that's how quickly it came down. Stim now on its way. We do have the factory and of course the additional barracks there, but between everything, it is just looking pretty damn nice. Now, a couple of additional sentries coming out here. The +1 ground weapons has started, and the +1 armor is probably going to get started up too. So, double upgrades coming down here. Meanwhile, MMA does not have his engineering bay yet. It is on its way down, but he's just probably going to pump out +1. Won't get the double engineering bay for a while, but ooh, MMA clearly not liking something something he hasn't seen. Getting 2 additional bunkers down here, maybe anticipating a bit of a push. The third CC is now morphed into an orbital command. HuK taking out the rocks to his own third base, so this could be a very economical game. Have these two in the lobby decided like no rush 20 minutes or something? Because there is very minimal losses. The observer though is sitting here, gets a good view, sees those 3 bunkers up, and critically sees the third orbital command. This is so important because now HuK is aware that that's down. He is going to either try and take his third very quickly or try and put on some pressure, but I suspect he'll be the third due to the fact that the double forges is already down there. The tech's coming out. Really just all looking pretty solid. Now, MMA did just get a scan off, but it's a scan to pick off an observer. MMA is running with literally 0 vision of what his opponent's doing. Not advisable, generally speaking. Unless, of course, you are at MMA's level, then, of course, you can risk doing things like that. But, yeah, Twilight Council now coming down here. HuK is teching like a beast. He's taking his third base. This is all in response to the fact that MMA has that third orbital command there. He knows that MMA isn't going to be able to put on too much pain. Yes, the first medevacs are going to be coming out in a minute. Yes, there's a sizable infantry force. Yes, Stim +1 combat shield. They're all syncing up. But the big thing was this third CC super early. I can afford to take risks, double upgrades, teching, and expanding all at once. I can do that because I don't need much army. These two both sitting sort of under the 40 army supply mark. They don't really have much here. HuK even grabbing down an additional gateway and the robotics bay, just making sure that he can start pumping out those colossi. But with the Twilight Council there already as well, not only can he immediately start +2, but he's also got the option to go into those High Templar with the tech switch a lot quicker than if he didn't get that down now. But of course, this all just lends itself really quite nicely. The big thing to keep an eye out for is HuK going to get just this single Colossus out, or is he going to keep bumping them? Because that's where the mind games start coming in. A single Colossus may force a Terran player, well, encourage a Terran player to get down additional Vikings, and then if you tech switch immediately, guess what? They're going to have wasted supply. And that's always a nice thing to see if you are in HuK's position. But MMA, he's just taking down the rock tower, floating down his orbital command. It's like a sunny afternoon on the beach for him at the moment. He's not worrying about too much. Unfortunately, these Marines aren't having too much of a nice time. One of their buddies dying, which is always pretty traumatic, but they are hardened war veterans. MMA gonna get a little bit of revenge though, and dropping like a boss. This double drop is coming in. The War Prism, sorry, is going to completely miss that, but HuK is going to be going for drops of his own. Where is the army for HuK here? Or should I say lack of army? There's really not too much. This double drop is going to be pretty frustrating. A couple of probes already getting taken down. Photon Overcharge is getting triggered, but even though it's being pushed back, a couple of workers killed. My concern, though, is what is Mr. War Prism doing down at the bottom of this map? Is it going to see that the third is up? Is it going to come in here and drop? Because, really, the army is a long way out of position here for MMA. If it comes into the main as well, equally, a long way out of position. +1 is done for MMA. +1 armor is coming down. 1-1 already finished, though, for HuK with 2-2. Getting pretty close to completion, so that's going to be good for HuK. He's getting an upgrade advantage. MMA, with the armory now coming down, he's got the second engineering bay ready to start 2-2 immediately. And there's the Ghost Academy as well, researching the Mobius reactor. And this is against HuK, who isn't actually going High Templar yet. What was seen by MMA? Well, he's seen that Twilight Council, but now the scan gets to see the Colossus. Critically important. Viking production immediately gets started up as soon as he sees that. He knows that he needs some anti-air, but HuK is continuing with this Colossus production, and as well as this drop, which is going to do near nothing, actually. Very minimal losses done there. HuK killing 5 workers this entire game, and of course the Viking gonna chase down this War Prism in an attempt to kill it off. Unfortunately, the Viking went a little bit skew with there, but MMA He's still ready to go for this double drop again, still out on the field. The third is defended by 2 cannons, but this high marauder count could easily focus them down very fast, so definitely something that HuK does need to be cautious of. Most of his army staying in the natural, though pre-spreading it, looking quite nice. And yeah, Starport on its way down, more Vikings coming out. MMA with a 4th CC even coming down too. Blink for HuK. 3 upgrades for HuK as well. That's now quite a solid upgrade advantage. He's got a big window, namely at least 190 in-game seconds, where he's gonna have 2-2 up against 1-1. Nice upgrade leads, tend to lead to very cost-effective engagements. The scan goes down. The Observer unfortunately pays the price for that, but more Observers are out on the field. If we take a look at HuK's vision at the moment, this is his most forward position, but he does know about this army. He got a good read on the composition of the army, and that's really the key thing for him, while he continues to try and go in with this War Prism. Gonna just try and do a little bit more damage, keep going with these drops while adding on more gateways. And a lot of gateways already down, actually, if I'm not mistaken. He has 6, and he's adding on an additional 4, so 10 gates. Not quite as many as I thought it was. I thought it was going up to about 12 or something, but no, this is all looking good. HuK, he's got the 2 Colossi out. His third one is on the way too. Sorry, his third one's already out. His 4th one is now on the way. So this is actually quite a scary force. But with the Viking count now being produced 4 at a time, HuK does need to start looking at switching into those high Templar, because he doesn't actually even have the Templar archives down yet. Around the 15-minute marks when you want to start looking for that. The fake quad drop is coming in here. What is this? This is mind games to the max. Look at these 4 medevacts boosted. MMA has nothing in there. HuK not pulling back though. MMA, I'm not quite sure what you're doing, but that mind game didn't work because you didn't drop anything or commit to it, and you didn't move in with another army either. I really hope this wasn't MMA just forgetting to pick up this army. I don't think that could occur, but MMA is getting down nukes. He's also getting down 3 additional command centers, taking on the spirit of Cass, because that's what Cass likes to do. He chucks down command centers everywhere. MMA just expanding like a beast. HuK about to go and take his 4th, but HuK's actually moving out now, around the 180 supply mark, and with those 3-3 upgrades. So he's got 3-3, and there is still 30 seconds in game before 2-2's even done. If HuK goes now, he's a 2-2, he's a 3-3 up against 1-1, but it's going to be very close. He's got about 20 seconds to move in if he wants to hit that window of opportunity, 30 seconds if he wants to hit the window of opportunity for just 2-1, but he needs to go fast. If he's wanting to do this, that's what he needs to do. He's got 3-3, regardless, even if he misses that window, he's still got 3-3 up against 2-2. Big advantage, the Vikings critically as well. Only +1 ship weapons, so the Colossi will stay up quite nicely. Here from HuK, we have got now the Templar archives coming down, so High Templar are going to be coming out fairly soon. Additional command centers are down here now, but MMA, he's apparently with these mass scans baiting back HuK, who also doesn't know about this base in the bottom left position. But now this is a good angle for HuK here. He's moving in. MMA slightly too far for the Vikings, starting to do as much damage as they can, sniping down those Colossi. Massive amounts of damage being done here. The Colossi falling very quickly, but just through sheer upgrades. Look at the damage being done to the infantry. MMA's supply is starting to tumble. The Vikings have been cleaned out. A lot of ghosts in the composition, but no High Templar. Hallucinated Colossus as well. HuK looking to be in a fairly good position here, pushing forward. More Vikings are out on the field. Are they going to be able to take out another Colossus? The answer is yes, they will, but one still stands. 3-3 up against 2 upgrades, just showing how effective they can be. HuK pushing in here, starting to take out the production facilities. Things looking really on the ropes now for MMA, and he knows it. GG's out, and game number 1 of this best of 3 goes to HuK. So, wow, good game. If you like that, like the video, leave a cool comment and subscribe. Then flick over to game number 2, and I'll see you there in just a second.